I think the role of visual arts is very important in our world as far as media goes. I mean, visually, what we see heavily affects the way we think or feel towards a subject matter or a specific person. The visual aspect of it, that's the part that gives us our first impressions of a subject. We are sadly a society that judges a book by its cover, and that's done more often than not visually. Our news know this, our TV stations know this, and that's why they rely greatly on visuals to tell their stories about the war overseas or corruption in our cities or our security in Washington, what have you. It's the visual aspect of it that persuades us to feel a certain way towards something. So the visual arts are very important to the world. Do I personally think instant access to imagery has a negative or positive effect on the industry? Well, I personally would say that it has both, for a number of reasons. Now let's first talk about the negative. What we see with our eyes, like I stated in answering the first question, has much to do with the way we perceive a certain subject, whether in a positive light or negative light. And now that we have that instant access to imagery, there are sources out there who take advantage of that and show us images that might not tell the entire story. But we as the spectators, if you will, don't know that. We just see this image and once again judge the situation on those images. Now, it can also have a positive effect on the industry, first and foremost because of the exposure the industry is getting because of it. Their product spreads faster, more people know about it faster, and it's easier and it's cheaper. So it definitely helps the company or that seller showing an image and getting the name out there. There are, to me, very few images associated with the entertainment industry. But nonetheless, the reason that there are is because these few images are certainly getting the job done. Now, I'm not talking about physical images, although those images do coincide with the physical aspect of things, but I mean images as far as the images of wealth, the images of power, the images of security. These are the images that actors, music makers, and athletes give to the rest of society, and it is those images that fuel the industry and even that particular person's career. Society is bathed in these images, and so society is left with the only thinking that status only has that to offer. There are no downsides. There are no side effects to having that status. Only what you've ever desired and could ever want will come true, and that's all there is to it. Those are the images these higher-ups give us, and these images that have been associated with the industry since the very beginning. Has knowledge of famous artworks influenced my creative process? Very much so. Like I said before, I draw inspiration from everyone out there, from the biggest names in my industry to the most underground names in another industry. But as far as famous artworks, they certainly have. I make films, and thank God that is one of the biggest industries because I have many different artworks to be influenced by, and they certainly have done their job.